What's up, guys? Sean here. Happy Tanto Tuesday. And in honor of Tanto Tuesday, I'm going to be showing you guys my two all-time favorite Tanto blade knives. So first up right here, we have a Microtech SOCOM Elite with the Tanto blade. I've had this knife for a couple years now. I've done a full review on it. I did some durability testing. I've done sharpening videos on it, so plenty of content on this knife already. But I really can't emphasize enough how great of a knife this truly is. This is also up there with my top hard use knives, heavy duty, hard use, you know, large tactical folders of all times. This is a beefy knife, but the thing that I love most about it is that it cuts like a knife that is much thinner, which is truly amazing because this is not a thin blade. But you know, the guys at Microtech or Anthony Marfione did some voodoo magic something with this blade geometry and the blade grind, because this thing is extremely strong and it cuts extremely well. Way better than you would ever imagine. It slices better than a lot of my thinner knives, and I don't understand it, but it does. And it's extremely strong, extremely tough, but it's also not too heavy. It's lighter than you would think, also because of the aircraft grade aluminum handles instead of titanium. You save a lot of weight, but you still have all the strength that you could ever need. You know, I mean, the blade would probably fail before this handle would fail. So it's as strong of a handle as you would ever need. There's plenty of people out there who have torture tested these, and I definitely suggest you check that out if you haven't before. Killer knife. Amazing knife. The only downside to this knife is the pocket clip. Unfortunately, this is tip down carry only, but you know, that's a minor gripe for how amazing this knife is. So move on to my other favorite Tanto of all times. Now this one I've had for a little bit less time, but I've still had it for over a year. This is the BENCHMADE BAILOUT, and this is one that caught my eye ever since it first came out. Ever since it first came out, it had always caught my eye and my interest, but I held off on getting one for a long time because the price kind of turned me off. I thought $280 was a little bit excessive for this, but after getting it in hand, after using it, owning it, and carrying it a shit ton, because this is still to this day one of my most carried knives. I carry this thing all the time. And BENCHMADE's M4 has really impressed me. The edge on this is held up extremely well. It's been easy to maintain. It strops back to razor sharp very easily, and this thing is a freaking slicer. This thing cuts like a champ. Very thin blade, but you have that M4 blade steel, which is known for its toughness. And you know, M4 isn't really held in regard as like an insane edge retention holding knife. It's known for taking minimal damage, you know, under hard use, but you know, a lot of people don't really consider it for its edge keeping, because it's not typically heat treated to a very high Rockwell. But surprisingly, the edge retention has been really good, and I have had to maintain it and strop it. So you know, after some heavy use, it's not gonna shave hair, but you can strap it right back to that hair shaving sharpness. You know, where you run your fingers down the blade like that very gently, the little 3-finger test to see if it's biting into your skin, and it still has that bite, and that's with a polished edge. So really good stuff. And you know, the way I kind of justified the price over time to where I actually now believe the price does kind of make sense for this, is because you get beautiful textured aluminum scales. They're also coated. The coating is pretty damn durable, as you can see. Not really any scratches on it that are even visible. Yeah, no visible wear really to note. And I do have this outfitted with some green anodized titanium hardware that I got off Amazon for like 13 bucks. Had this hardware on it for a long time, and as you can see, the color is still vibrant. Really good value on those Benchmade hardware sets off Amazon. Now you do have to be careful. They're not the highest strength screws, so if you're not using good drivers, you can strip them out. So you definitely want to have the WIHA soft touch drivers, like I always recommend, that are always in the description under the stuff that I use and recommend. Definitely those tools are essential. They will save you a ton of headaches and grief, you know, stripping out screws, especially when it comes to like T6s. But yeah, no issues as long as you use the right tools. No issues. But got distracted. Back onto the topic of how I think the price is possibly justified on this. It's because yes, this is on average $100 more than, you know, most comparable Spyderco knives. However, on all my Spydercos, which I love Spyderco, my favorite knife company of all time, but you know, all my favorite ones that I own, I always replace the scales, I replace the pocket clip, you know, a lot of them I replace the hardware too, which the hardware is more of like a bling factor. But you know, the ergonomics on Spydercos, a lot of them is great from the factory, but they all come with G10 handles, which their G10 is also very functional, very grippy, it's good, but it a lot of times it leaves you wanting a little bit more, especially with all the aftermarket options that are out there. It's kind of hard not to want to put some of those nice textured aluminum or milled titanium, textured titanium, carbon fiber, milled and textured carbon fiber, all kinds of crazy awesome options. And one thing I've noticed with my Benchmades is that I tend to keep them at least very close to their factory configuration a lot more than I do with my Spydercos. The Spydercos leave me wanting to modify them and put another $200 into them, where with my Benchmades, I have almost pulled the trigger on buying scales for this several times, but it doesn't make sense because I love the handles that are on it that much, and it's really that good from the factory as is, that you don't have to invest that extra $200. So at the end of the day, with your Spyderco that you saved $100 on from the start, at the end of the day, you're $100 over the cost of this once you get it to your liking. So something that I've kind of came to notice when it comes to all my favorite Benchmade models, which is far fewer than all the Spydercos that I love, but I do have to give it to them. They have a couple models that I think are, you know, some of the greatest designs ever for, you know, everyday carry, functional folding knives. But yeah, this is definitely one, if you haven't checked this out and it's been you know, it's caught your eye and you've contemplated on it, I would no longer wait. I would definitely recommend getting your hands on one of these. It's very thin, like the thickness of the handle also is thin, the blade is super thin, it carries like a feather. You have a longer blade than you do on the BUGOUT, more cutting edge, which the bug out has an impressive cutting edge length for the overall size of it, and the cutting edge to handle ratio is also very good, which is another thing that you will see carry over to this design. Very good blade to handle ratio, and you get a lot of cutting edge on that blade, so a lot of cutting capability. These scales are actually contoured slightly, so let's see if you can see that. Not the best lighting in here. I'm recording this in my car because I wanted to get this video up. Didn't want to procrastinate because I've had several video ideas pop up into my head over the past month or two, and I've just, you know, procrastinated on it and then never get around to doing it. And yeah, as you guys who have been on this channel for a while now, as you obviously could tell, I have been missing in action. And no, I'm not giving up on YouTube or done with YouTube by any means. I just had to kind of reprioritize my time and energy a little bit, you know, with the economy and my, you know, the schedule and all that stuff. I had to put more focus and energy into my main career, which is barbering. That's where I'm at right now. I just pulled up at my barber shop because that's what pays the bills. And then in my time off, I spend, you know, every second of that having quality time with my daughter, which is extremely important to me. She is about to be 4 years old on the 13th, and, you know, time is flying by. She's not gonna be, you know, little and all lovey and cuddly and all that stuff forever. So this time right now is very important to me, and it's important that I take full advantage of that. I don't want to be one of those guys, you know, saying I wish I would have, you know, spent that time or gave more of my attention and had more quality time with my kid. You know, that's not going to be a lesson that I have to learn the hard way, you know, and which is unlike me. Typically I have to do everything my own way, and I have to learn everything the hard way. But, you know, having a daughter changed me. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, and she is the most important thing in my life. So, you know, I have to prioritize my barber career because that pays the bills. And then other than that, my daughter is my purpose. She's my world. So, you know, she's also prioritized above the knife stuff and the knife channel, unfortunately. And, you know, that's, to any decent person out there, that should be completely understandable. But I know it is a little bit of a bummer for some of you who like watching the videos. But I'm gonna do my best to keep the videos coming, and you know, have some other cool stuff in the works, in the agenda for this year. So stick around, and get into more of that later. But anyways, just wanted to go into my 2 favorite Tanto knives in honor of Tanto Tuesday. And yeah, I've missed you guys. Hope everybody has a great day. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Stay tuned, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.